Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello.
Our mission is pretty simple. You give us your sources, could be anything, articles, videos, notes, you name it.
And we dive in.
Exactly. We unpack it all, pull out the really key insights, those important nuggets, and maybe some surprising facts you might have missed. Help cut through the noise.
Yeah, think of it as a way to get quickly up to speed on something you're interested in. We help you see what's actually significant in the material you've provided.
And today, the source you've given us is quite interesting. It's a YouTube video. It's called 25 Best Business Ideas, 2025 Low Investment, from a channel called Business Money.
Right. And this video, it lays out a whole bunch of different concepts, ideas that are framed as, ways to start a business without needing a huge pile of cash up front.
Covers quite a range, too. Some tech stuff, some more creative ideas, service things.
Yeah, real mix.
So our mission today isn't just to read out the list. We want to dig into some of the more, let's say, intriguing ideas from this specific source.
Really unpack them.
Yeah, see what they're about, maybe question some of the claims a little, and look for patterns. Like, what does low investment actually mean in 2025, according to this video anyway?
And the goal for you listening in is that you come away understanding not just what these ideas are, but maybe why they're presented this way.
Thinking about the potential upsides, maybe some challenges hinted at, or just spotting some interesting angles.
Angles you might not have thought about otherwise.
Okay then, let's get into it. Let's unpack this source from Business Money and see what they suggest for starting small in 2025.
Where should we start? The source kicks off with a few ideas that seem pretty heavily based on buying a particular machine or piece of tech.
Right, first one up was the R900 tile laying robot.
Ah, yes.
The video presents this as a way for someone, maybe without loads of tiling skills, to do renovation work. It says it uses like dozens of sensors to link tiles perfectly straight.
Which is interesting, isn't it? The idea of automation kind of lowering the barrier to entry for a skilled trade.
Yeah.
Tiling, it takes real precision, practice. This robot supposedly handles the tricky part, makes the trade more accessible, potentially. They mentioned a cost, didn't they?
Yeah, up to $10,000.
$10,000, okay.
Which, yeah, it's an investment for sure, but the source frames it as low compared to the potential income, claims it pays for itself quickly if you get regular orders.
So it's investing in a tool as the core of a service business. That seems to be the model there.
Exactly. And kind of along those same lines, investing in tech, the video also talked about automatic car washes.
Right, but the compact ones?
Yeah, the smaller units you could maybe put near highways or, tighter spots in the city.
And the key thing the source seemed to highlight there was no staff needed.
Right. That's a big point for keeping things simple and costs down. Fits the low investment theme, let's see, for ongoing expenses.
Just periodic maintenance, refilling the soap and stuff.
The source claims they can handle like 100 cars a day. Presents it as convenient, cheaper to run than the big traditional places.
So we're seeing a bit of a theme emerge already. Ideas where the main investment is a machine that automates a service.
Trying to cut down on labor costs, increase efficiency.
But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Is dropping $10 or whatever a compact car wash costs really low investment for everyone starting out?
That's a fair question. The source's definition seems relative.
Yeah, relative to maybe setting up a factory or a massive traditional business. It's maybe more like accessible without needing venture capital, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Not exactly start with pocket change.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to different equipment, something smaller. The source mentioned a little machine for making freeze-dried candies.
Oh, yeah, from regular sweets. Costs only about $500, it said.
$500, yeah. Taps right into that trend of turning existing things into, like, novelty items.
And the source seemed very optimistic about this one. What was the profit claim?
Get this, over $10,000 net profit per month.
Wow. $10,000 net from a $500 machine. That's a big number.
It really jumps out, doesn't it? I mean, if it's achievable, it really highlights how sometimes finding a hot niche trend with relatively cheap equipment could pay off massively.
It could. But that figure also makes you stop and think, what's not being said?
Like what?
Well, to get $10 hey net profit, you'd need huge sales volume, right? So what about the cost of the actual candies you're freeze drying?
Good point. Ingredient costs.
And packaging, marketing, finding all those customers, your time. The machine might be $500, but making that kind of profit, it's probably not just buying the machine and watching money roll in.
That's very true. The source often seems to focus hard on the upfront cost of the main thing.
But maybe glosses over the ongoing grind and expenses needed to actually reach those big numbers.
Oh. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. From automation and equipment to ideas focusing more on, say, unique experiences or novelty.
Like the electric BBQ boat.
Yes, the one from Dubai. Shaped like a donut, seats 10, grill in the middle, and it drives itself.
This is purely selling an experience, isn't it? Something unusual. Source put the cost around $10,000 again, roughly, and presented it as a potentially successful rental business, assuming you've got, access to water.
A floating party, rented
Yeah.
by the hour. Simple model, location dependent, though.
Definitely location dependent, but it leverages that desire for unique, Instagrammable moments, I suppose.
For sure. And speaking of unique, maybe slightly crazy experiences, the giant claw machine.
Oh, right, where a person is the claw.
Yeah, lowered into a pit of prizes. The Source pitched it as a big draw for shopping malls.
Memorable, certainly. An attraction business, pure entertainment. Again, framed as low investment relative to its potential impact in a high-traffic spot.
Though actually setting up something that big, probably not cheap or simple logistically.
Like trivial, no.
Yeah.
But what these experience ideas seem to share is the value isn't just the thing itself, it's the unique moment, the novelty.
People pay extra for things that feel different or fun.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at another category. Ideas where creativity or just presentation adds a lot of value to fairly ordinary things.
Like the sweet bouquets.
Yeah, arrangements of candies, drinks, little treats.
Classic example. Taking cheap items and making them look special through arrangement and presentation. The Source claims you can sell these for way more than the cost of the sweets themselves, targeting gifts, celebrations.
Minimal material cost, potentially high markup based on your skill and eye for design.
It's all about making the familiar feel special. And there was another one playing with presentation. Edible tableware.
Oh yeah, made from potatoes.
Yeah.
Like scooped out baked potato halves used as bowls for street food or camping.
Clever.
Right.
Leverages convenience, sustainability.
No washing up.
Right. It's part of the meal. Uses a super common, cheap ingredient. The innovation is just the form factor, the dual purpose.
And the Source had that brilliant example about presentation creating value, the shoe experiment.
The luxury shoe test. That was fascinating.
Remind us.
A group apparently took really cheap, mass-produced shoes, changed the name slightly.
Like added an O or something.
Something like that. Rented a fancy-looking boutique for a bit, invited influencers.
And sold the cheap shoes for hundreds of dollars.
Exactly. It showed the perceived value wasn't in the shoe at all. It was entirely the branding, the environment, the story, the marketing.
Wow, that's a powerful point. Presentation and narrative can completely change how people see a product and what they'll pay.
It really drives home that for lots of these low-investment ideas, the actual business isn't just the thing you sell.
It's how you sell it, how you present it,
Yeah.
the whole experience around it.
Absolutely. Which kind of leads us to ideas focused on innovating the service delivery itself. Rethinking how things get to the customer.
Like the guy who turned his scooter into a mobile shoe store.
Yeah, with unfolding shelves and everything.
Genius. Gets around beating a shop, paying rent.
Totally bypasses traditional retail costs. The business is mobile, flexible, can go to different neighborhoods, maybe even deliver right to your door.
Taking the store to the customer.
It just highlights how innovating the delivery can be the key differentiator and the cost saver. And similarly, the Source mentioned those compact portable saunas.
Right, the ones assembled from panels in minutes.
Yeah.
Costing around, what, $5,800?
Yeah, about that. And the idea wasn't selling the saunas.
Renting them out.
Exactly. Delivered to homes, gyms, salons, whatever. It's a niche wellness service brought directly to you, again, leveraging the portability.
So the scooter store, the portable sauna, the low investment bit seems linked to avoiding fixed overheads like rent.
Making the product or service mobile and direct.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've journeyed through quite a few ideas from this Source video.
Yeah, quite a landscape of possibilities presented as low investment for 2025.
We saw equipment-based services, robot tilers, car washes.
Novelty experiences like the BBQ boat and the giant claw machine.
And then concepts relying on creativity, presentation, like sweet bouquets, edible plates.
Or clever delivery methods like the scooter store and portable saunas.
What's really fascinating, looking back at the Source's examples, is how many seem to hinge not just on a unique product,
but on how it's delivered or presented or the specific experience.
Yeah, we saw that clearly with the mobile store, the boat, the packaging ideas.
Even the freeze-dried candy relies on that novelty presentation, right?
True. It feels like the source is pointing towards opportunities where the edge comes from, maybe speed
Like the freeze dryer, maybe the automated car wash,
or portability,
scooter store, sauna rental,
or just a novel twist on something familiar that grabs attention.
edible tableware, the human claw game.
Yeah. And while the source often highlights that relatively low initial cost for equipment or materials,
And throws out some pretty striking potential profit numbers.
our discussion suggests, well, you really need to look at the whole picture, don't you?
Absolutely. Those ongoing costs, the marketing grind, finding customers, the actual effort needed to hit those volumes.
It seems low investment in this context often means investing in a specific tool or a clever approach.
Rather than, say, traditional buildings and large-scale infrastructure.
So this leaves a big question for you, the listener, to think about. Looking at this collection of ideas from this one source, what does it really suggest about where opportunities might lie in 2025 if you're starting small?
Is it really about finding some completely unique product? Or is it more about a clever service delivery method?
Or maybe just presenting something quite familiar but in a fresh, exciting way?
Or perhaps the biggest opportunity is figuring out how to bridge that gap between the potential, the source presence, and the real-world work needed to make it happen.
Lots to think about there. Keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep diving deep.